Good morning, sir. We are grade 10 muna.
I am Adrian A. Pagubo.
I am Batul.
I'm Ken Kirby A. Bobadilla.
I'm Mark Joshua A. Bagona.
I am Joshua Dela Cruz.
Our research is all about
The perceived effects of COVID-19 pandemic to mental health of junior high school in Siksika National High School.
Why did you conduct this research?
We chose this topic because we know that many students experience problem about their mental health, even among us in this group. Experience mental health but not as hard as depression. It was anxiety or we are stressed about because we're worried about our grades and how to complete our tasks as a students. And we can't cope up with this new learning method because even me, I don't have a stable connection at my home. So as summarized, we chose this topic because many students can relate about this.
The COVID-19 pandemic has presented many challenges to students, educators, and parents. Children already coping with mental health conditions have been especially vulnerable to the changes. Children already coping with mental health conditions have been especially vulnerable to the changes. And now we are learning about the broad impacts on students as a result of school being closed, physically distancing, guidelines, and isolation, and other unexpected changes to their lives.
Background of the study. This study is about perceived effect of COVID-19 pandemic to mental health of junior high school students in Siksika National High School. However, the effects of this pandemic on one's mental health can cause depression, anxiety, and increased stress. The impact of these lockdowns on mental health is indicately understood.
The lockdown had serious implications on mental health, resulting in psychological problems. The lockdown had serious implications on mental health, resulting in psychological problems including frustration, stress, depression, and anxiety. In order to explore the impacts of pandemic to mental health of students, this study suggests that public authorities should take all necessary measures to enhance the learning experience by mitigating the negative impacts caused due to COVID-19 outbreak.
the findings of our study highlight the urgent need to develop intervention and preventive strategies to address the mental health of junior high student. The aim of this study is to identify major associated sessions associated with the COVID-19 pandemic and to understand their effects of junior high student mental health. This paper documents the findings from online interview surveys conducted in senior Siksika National High School.
Objective of the study. The primary goal of this study is to evaluate the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the mental health of junior high school students at Siksika National High School. In addition, the following objectives are set out in this research. As a result, the following questions will be addressed in this research.
These are the research questions. What are the effects of COVID-19 pandemic to mental health?
The COVID-19 pandemic has a major effect on our life. Many of us are facing challenges that can be stressful, overwhelming, and cause strong emotion that can lead to mental illness. Quarantine and self-isolation can most likely cause a negative impact on one's mental health. Separated from loved ones, loss of freedom, boredom, and uncertainty can cause a deterioration in an individual's mental health status.
To overcome this, measures at the individual and social levels are required. Wala pa. Under the current global situation, both children and adults under the current global situation, both children and adults are experiencing a mix of emotions.
Not all children and parents respond to stress in the same way. Kids can experience anxiety, distress, social isolation, and abusive environment that can have short or long-term effects on their mental health. Not all children Not all children and parents respond to stress in the same way. Kids can experience anxiety, distress, social isolation, and abusive environment that can have short or long-term that effects on their mental health.
COVID pandemic can cause excessive crying and annoying behavior, increased sadness, depression or worry, difficulties with concentration and attention, changes in or avoiding activities that they enjoy in the past, unexpected headaches and pain throughout their bodies, changes in eating habits.
To help offset negative behaviors, requires parents to remain calm, deal with situation wisely, and to help offset negative behaviors, requires parents to remain calm, deal with the situation wisely, and answer all the child questions to the best of their abilities. Parents can take some time to talk with their children about the COVID-19 outbreak and share some positive facts, figures, and information.
Parents should show less stress or anxiety at their home. Less stress or anxiety.
Proceed.
Parents should show less stress or anxiety at home as children perceive and feel negative energy from their parents.
The involvement of parents in healthy activities with their children can help to reduce stress and anxiety and bring relief to the overall situation.
Physical isolation at home among family members can put the elderly and disabled person at serious mental health risk.
Ipos mo. It can cause anxiety, distress, and thus a traumatic situation for them. COVID-19 can also result in increased stress, anxiety, and depression among elderly people, already dealing with mental health issues. Understanding the effects of COVID-19 outbreak on the mental health of various populations are as important as understanding clinical features, transmission patterns, and management.
Spending time with family members including children and their elderly people, involvement in different healthy exercise and sport activities, following a scheduled routine and taking a break from traditional and social media can all help to overcome mental health issues.
Go. Social media can
How does affect social media to mental health?
Social media can have a bad effect in our mental health in terms of the bad news or bad thing that we can read on social media, like FB, Twitter, or Instagram. On the other way, it has a good effect because we can avoid stress through social media, like talking good things with our friends or family. As with every technology, there is a side that is not good. In particular, social media can have a negative impact on teens who suffer from or are susceptible to mental illness. Social media can and does have a positive effect on children and teens, whether by teaching social skill, strengthening relationship, or just being fun. Persistent use of this social platform can also have a negative impact, particularly on mental health and well-being of young users.
Children, parents, and teachers need to understand the full impact of social media used by adolescents and teens, especially the risk of their disservice posed on their mental health. The tools, tips, and resources in the guide can help ensure that the use of social media by young people strengthens their personal social network and improves their general mental wellness.
Efforts to prevent the negative effect of young people's use of social media begin by educating teens and adolescents about the danger those services present. Guidelines for safe, healthy use of social media by young people should include the following strategies. Set limit on the time spent on social media. Perhaps the single most effective way for teens and adolescents to ensure their use of social media has positive impact on their daily life is by spending less time using the service.
2, 3. Students who limited their time on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat to 10 minutes each per day, or a total of 30 minutes of use for all social media, were generally more positive and had better self-image. The students who restricted their social media use to 30 minutes a day reported less depression and loneliness after 3 weeks, and the increase in feeling good was highest for students who reported higher levels of depression when the study began.
Teens can learn a valuable lesson about their own self-worth as a result of the emotions they feel while using social media. How we truly about ourselves begin from the inside and express outwardly. Conversely, social media can cause us to measure our self-worth by the others think, or lead us to create a false persona and an attempt to be accepted by others.
The big challenge for parents who want to ensure their children's use of social media is positive is being aware of that their kids are doing on social media. By taking the subject of social media's impact seriously, parents can communicate to their children the importance of abiding by usage guidelines for their health, safety, and well-being. Social media has the potential to contribute greatly to the lives of young people, but only if the correct steps are taken to combat the technology's negative aspects.
Does the modular learning affect to your mental health?
Yes, because modular learning can affect on your mental health in way of you're worried about your grades and you can comply your tasks at right time. On this scenario, you can't sleep on the right time because you need more time to finish your schoolworks. On the way modular learning can cause mental illness.
Significance of the study. Administration, teachers, students, parents, future researchers.
To administration. Healthcare workers' mental health problems. The result of study. To administration. The result of the study will give additional knowledge to the administration. Through this day, we'll know how essential to the students' mental health is by knowing its effect.
To the teachers. The COVID-19 pandemic has led teachers to an unpredictable scenario where the lockdown situation has accelerated the shift from traditional to online educational method, and relationship had been altered by the avoidance of direct contact with others, with implications for the mental health.
To parents, the pandemic result in multiple stressors for parents, including financial difficulty due to unemployment that can affect their mental health.
Ikaw na lang.
To the student must know the other effect of pandemic. Use this study will give them the knowledge about the other significant effect that they should know.
To the future researchers, this study will help them have a better understanding in regards with the pandemic and its effect to the student mental health. They can also use this study as their basis.
Review of related literature. Academic performance is most often affected by mental health concern. Mental illness can have an impact on student motivation, attention, and social relationship, all of which are important elements in their academic success. Despite the growing need for mental health service at post-secondary institution, only a low percentage of students who consider suicide contact their institution counseling facilities, possibly due to stigma associated with mental illness.
The mental health effects of these lockdowns are little known. On the one hand, such require an extended in everyday activities may be harmful to mental health. On the other hand, because the whole population was harmed, it may not be perceived adversely. The goal of this study was to document the initial mental health status in the Siksikan National High School and investigate its relationship to the COVID-19 environment during this critical acute phase, measuring the current privilege of clinically significant symptoms of generalized anxiety and stress, as well as their relationship to other recent adversities.
Review of related The goal of our research is to perform a timely assessment of the COVID-19 pandemic's impact on the mental health of junior high school pupils. In higher education, student mental health has become a growing problem. The COVID-19 epidemic has pushed back in The COVID-19 epidemic has pushed the sensitive population back into the public eye. The coronavirus disease 2019 pandemic has posed significant mental health risks throughout the world.
Presentation of data. Most vote of students who experienced mental illness during this pandemic. Yes is 91% and no is 9%. Mental illness affect the majority of junior high school students at Siksika National High School. During the pandemic, the number of votes cast by students suffering from mental illness and those who do not suffer from mental illness is depicted in graph 1. As can be seen, 91% of pupils have mental disease, whereas the remaining 9% do not. It shows that almost all junior high school Siksika National High School students have dealt with mental illness, with just a small percentage not have done so.
Votes student to experience mental illness, and what are these? Number of votes on student who may have a mental illness. Graph 2 shows the possibility of mental disorder among Siksika National High School students. Stress, sleepless nights, worries, anxieties, and lack of interest in student are among the options. 72% pick stress, 75.8% choose restless night, 39.40% choose concern, and 54.5% choose anxiety. According to the graph, according to the study that we conducted virtually, every student has a sleepless night, maybe due to the pressure to complete their requirements by the deadline. The second highest source of pressure to the succeed academics was stress, caused by a lack of routine and thinking what's gonna happen.
Votes of students who are effective of modular learning on their mental health. This pie graph show the number of distribution of students that thinks that modular distance learning can cause mental illness and not. So the graph show that 64% of the students say yes and 25% are no and 11% are maybe. So we can see, according to our survey, almost all of the students agrees that the modular distance learning can cause mental illness. Less not, therefore, majority of junior high school students in Siksika National High School experience mental illness because of modular learning distance.
1, 2, 3. Conclusions.
After conducting the data analysis and interpretation, the researchers have concluded the following inferences.
Based on the graph 1, it shows that many junior high school students experience mental illness, which means during this pandemic, almost of the students got stress on their daily lives. We can even say that because of the modular distance learning that they experience stress, which is the trigger to have mental illness. Based on our survey, many students experience mental illness. Mental illness, also called mental health disorders, refers to a wide range of mental health conditions. Disorders that affect your mood, thinking, and behavior. Example of mental illness include depressions, anxiety disorders, eating disorders, and addictive.
On graph 2 shows the kind of mental illness that the junior high school student of Siksika National High School experienced during pandemic. As we can see, most highest result is sleepless night, and second to the highest result is stress. Maybe it because of their academic performance, or they worried about their grades because they can't submitted their task on the right time given.
Last graph. On graph 3, as you can see, the result of majority of students agreed that modular distance learning can cause mental illness. As we can see, 64% of students say yes. Maybe the reason reason behind this was because they got too much stress answering their modules and complying their activities on right time needed. Recommendation. Based on the draw conclusion of this research report, the researchers respectfully comment the following. We recommended to you, quiet your mind, try meditating, mindfulness, and or prayer. Relaxation, exercise, and prayer can improve your state of mind and outlook on life. In fact, research showed that meditation may help you feel calm.
Get plenty of sleep. Sleep is really important for our physical and mental health. Sleep helps to regulate the chemicals in our brain that transmit information. These chemicals are important in managing our moods and emotion. If we don't get enough sleep, we can start to feel depressed or anxious.
We also recommend to you to ask for help because this is the best way to keep yourself mentally healthy. Is to recognize when you're not feeling well and don't be ashamed to ask for help to someone. You can also ask for help to your family and friends.
We also recommend if your mental health issue is getting badly, you can go to psychiatrist because as they can also help you to cure your mental illness.
Try to make fun Try to make time for doing fun things like exercise, painting, and some things to make feel relaxed to your mental health.
That's our research proposal. Thank you.